What we're looking at here is wood that I reclaimed after a typhoon out of the mountains. It was just sort of, I think they cut a tree down and left it on the side of the road. And a friend of mine asked me to make him a bed for a king-size mattress using nothing that's purchased. I tried to get my chainsaw working and failed, so I used the Sawzall and cut a curve out of that upright post, which you're looking at there, and the lag bolt that's in there goes down probably this far. So that's a pretty strong joint. Now we got to figure out how to make these two join, and I have not a clue how I'm going to do that yet. Sweet. Now I got a nice flat 45-degree cut on this surface, and I'm trying to make it join to this uneven surface, and it's a gradual process. So now I got it this close, and there's still, like, 3 centimeters of depth that needs to disappear somewhere. So I'm just going slowly, and the closer I get it to it, the closer I can trace an exact line, and eventually this thing will hopefully fit into this thing. And that's my aim right now. There's rigid for you. Oh yeah, that looks better from this side.
See a documentary. It's you guys coming. And I think this time they'll sort of listen. Again, we're fighting an uphill battle because Americans just...
We've got a mortise that's been dug out and shaped to the shape of the log that I'm going to shove into it. The log itself will be a tenon, but I didn't want to reduce the size of the log and give it a perfectly square tenon, because when it slides in, how it meets this contour would be difficult to shape. And this isn't one of those furniture collector's jobs, so I'm hoping that it goes all the way in. Whoa! Now that tape line is the depth of my mortise. It looks to me like we're on the money, because I want the lag to spread the tenon wood, and it would act as a wedge, which would push the wood outwards to ensure a tighter fit in that joint. So the whole circumference surface of this log here has got to be growing, and it's got to be because we're putting a half-inch thick piece of galvanized steel into it. Proof of the pudding would be if we see glue oozing out, and I do. Great. It's not going to get much tighter than that. And there we have it. That's joint number 1 of the base feet of the bed. You might notice that front leg post there is askew. It's leaning in towards the bed from the side and from the front, and I did that on purpose. So I'm going to try and replicate that over here. In my mind, that'll give the bed a feeling of a bit more stability. What I'm doing here is getting ready to cut the second mortise, position my leg the way I want it. That's pointing. Oh yeah, that's good. Okay. Get it as centered on the leg as possible and call it home. And where it protrudes, I'll make that stuff flat. All right. Let's see how lucky we get. I'm going to take the outside line and chisel to that back, and then the final cut is going to be a taper which matches the taper of those legs. I've never cut a tenon to fit an irregular shaped log before, so this is an experiment. I measured my depth at 4 points. At the top it's 4.5 to here. 0.5 here, 4 here, 3.5 here, and 2.5 here. It's a weird squiggly line. But that's what we're going to be going to, and hopefully that'll work. If it doesn't, there's always liquid nails and sawdust. That's pretty tight. Okay, that's done. And that's an example of, you know, you spend an hour setting up the jig for 5 minutes worth of cutting. Okay, so that joint's done. So I don't know why.